Hello, beautiful people. Woo, today. Sorry. If you have not seen the thumbnail, which I'm pretty sure you have, Auntie, that's like super loud. Folks, we're going to talk about not only my encounter, but I have other people who are going to share their encounters. And the title of this thingy-majigger today is, what was the title? What did I name this? I had so many names. Non-African favoritism in Ghana, my personal encounter. And I have some special guests that are going to share their personal experience too. I'm going to ask them a couple of questions because I want to show the different mentalities between the African diaspora and continental Africans, because even though our journeys have been very similar when it comes to colonization and being exploited and mistreated, a lot of us, we don't know that we have the same residue hanging. We have the same residue, but like I said, in the States, it's covert. My experience in Ghana is very overt. And so we're going to talk about all this good stuff. So first, let's start with appreciation, because I am happy with the love you guys are showing me. Let me show you where we are at in the watch hours, folks. Let me go to share screen. Get ready for this because I was shocked. This is where we are, folks. We are at 3,740 watch hours. We are very close to becoming monetized, folks. We're like less than 260 watch hours away. Thank you. I appreciate all of you guys watching my videos, commenting, participating. This would not be a channel. This would not be anything without you guys watching. So I understand that clearly. So thank you. Once we hit 4,000, I started writing my web series. So once we hit 4,000, I'm really going to put it into gear and show you guys my Ghana experience and part of my life. It's going to be a biopic. So you'll see true stories in this thing, and get ready because it's going to be the bomb. Okay, so my guests are getting ready, so I'm gonna introduce them soon with their little cute little selves. But I just want to show appreciation and thank you. Okay, so moving on with that. Next, folks, I want to share my encounter that I experienced in Ghana when it came to non-Africans being favoritized. That's a word today, favoritized. So I went to the Cocoon National Rainforest. And when you go there, actually, I'm going to show you what that looks like for those that do not know. When you go to the Cocoon National Rainforest, it is, did I not send the picture? Oh, darn, I didn't send it. Anyways, it's one of the main tourist sites. So when you go to Ghana, for sure, go there and see that. But they sell cocoa and they sell like mangoes and little fruits. And so I was with a group of people, and I've been wanting to go back to Cocoon Rainforest to get this cocoa, like real life cocoa, because over 70% of cocoa comes from Ghana and Cote d'Ivoire. So all the chocolate we're eating, it doesn't come from Belgium. It doesn't come from European countries. It comes from Ghana. And then they just slap their name on it. So that's how that works. And they call it their chocolate, but it really came from West Africa. So I was like, I cannot wait to get my own. I go there. There's a group of us, a group of Black folks, of course. And I bring out my money to pay for the cocoa. This white man comes behind us and looks and says, "Oh, what is that?" And the guy selling the cocoa goes, "Oh, it's cocoa." He's like, "Oh, okay." And the Black guy goes, "Here." Didn't bring out a CD, didn't bring out a dollar, didn't bring out nothing. So as we're paying for our cocoa, he just gives this white man some cocoa. And the white man goes, "Oh, thanks," and walks away. And looking back, I didn't handle it professionally at all. I could have took that opportunity to educate and spread more love, but I was triggered, and we're going to talk about these triggers. I was triggered, and I said, why are you charging us and not charging him? I was like, it's because he's white, huh? Hey, lovely Africa, thanks for joining. He's like, because he's white, huh? And he's like, the guy started stuttering. And I said, let me tell you something. If the roles were reversed, he wouldn't have gave you nothing for free. And so I was mad. I'm like, do you not understand? In my mind has been contribution from booking my airline ticket all the way up to from where I stay in my Airbnb. So I'm in the States thinking, okay, I need to do Ethiopian Airlines to support Black businesses. I need to buy wherever I stay. I want to stay at an Airbnb to support the local family. Whatever restaurants I eat, whatever food I buy, I'm thinking I literally set aside money to make sure I contribute to the people of Ghana. And this man comes along and just gets stuff for free just because he is non-African, he is white. And so that triggered me and I got upset. And so for those that plan on visiting Ghana, if you go through like a tourist site, you probably won't experience any of this. But if you plan on repatriating, building, staying there, getting to know the people, you're going to encounter some of this stuff. And instead of being triggered and getting mad and, continuing the lie of that we're just mad for no reason, take what we're going to talk today into heart. So I'm going to talk to the African American or the diaspora Africans, and then the Africans on the continent. And so we can actually come to a place to where we understand each other. Because if we don't understand each other, we don't take in what we went through as a people, there will never be any cohesion and unity. So that was my story. So coming from a place, went through the same thing. Oh, so you went through the same thing. Yeah. Go Black to Africa. I started following him. And I haven't seen any of his videos yet, but there's a lot of stories out there, guys. And these are aspects that we need to know when we go back to the homeland, because they're not doing it on purpose, right? This is how the system is worldwide, even in the States. It's just covert here. And over there is overt. Okay, so that was my personal story and how I was triggered in Ghana and how colonization is real. And so now I want to bring my guests. You guys ready? Vicki and BK. Now, folks, these are literally my neighbors. These are my neighbors in Ghana. The house that you see. Woo! Yes. Hello. So
Hello.
So that's Vicki and BK. These are my neighbors. So the house that you see in my video, guys, this is them. Thank you guys so much. How's it over there in Ghana right now?
Hot. Like always.
Like always. But you guys look good. Your melanin is popping.
Yeah, thank you.
Yep. And so, Vicki, if you could just introduce yourself a little bit about your you coming back from America, a little bit about you, and BK is the same as well.
Hi, I'm Vicki. I came from the U.S. about almost 2 years ago. I met BK in the U.S., so we started talking about coming home, and he wanted to come home, and I wanted to come home, I should say, and here we are.
Voila.
We decided to build a house, and here we are.
Love it. And then BK, can you tell us a little about your story? You're raised in Ghana, but you're in the States. How did you even get to the States?
Yeah, I'm BK, and I was born and raised in Ghana. I got myself in the U.S. That's a different story for a different day.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I met Vicki, and then we had the same dream. Her dream was to move back to the motherland. My dream was to come back to where I came from, because the America that I thought it wasn't really the America that they show us. So
that's a video in itself.
Yeah, so I chose to come back.
Wow. Okay, so You guys are there, almost done. Vicki showed me a little bit of the painting she's doing. She's a creative too, guys. She got her. Was it a gym that you're working on?
Yep.
Yeah. And so
it's not easy.
It's not easy. And so when I go back to Ghana, you'll definitely see more of them. But just to get straight to the point,
Thank you.
I want you. Lovely Africa. She's a ride or die. She's always here, and I appreciate her so much. So I want to talk about. Let's start with BK. Can you educate us on your education growing up in Ghana? Because did you learn about what the Africans went through when we left, when we were taken or stolen, however you want to put it? Was that part of the educational system?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't. We knew about slavery. We knew some white people came and take our people somewhere. We didn't know where, and we didn't know what they went through. So, we only knew that some people were taken away. We didn't know where they were taken to, and we didn't know what they were going to.
Okay. And it was, I wanted BK to tell us this because this explains a lot. Because when I encountered certain, non-Africans being favored and seeing the Africans favor them, I'm like, how is this even possible? And then one of my friends said, Leslie, they don't know what you guys went through, even from what, the 1500s, and then just recently, from the, Martin Luther King, that whole movement. A lot of them don't know. So when we come back and we see this, we're like, is something wrong? But if you don't know, you don't know, right? And so now I understand why, some Africans treat non-Africans exceptionally, right? And so tell us about the trigger, Vicki. So what happened? What happened when this white couple came to your house? Please tell us.
Well, we were building in the middle of building. We were on the second story level, and the house was pretty much almost built. And so this older couple comes over, and the fence wall is up and everything, and they come through, and they got, superiority. They don't ask who lives here. They just start looking around, and we have stuff on the ground where, it's trip hazard everywhere, and they just come in, don't ask, and they just want to look around, and the guy has his hands on his hips, and he thinks he owns the house already, and I'm looking at him, and I said, BK, you see what I see? And I said, I'm going to go over there, and I'm going to tell them, to get the hell off my land. What are they doing,
What are you doing? Yeah.
And what did you say?
I said, wait, let's see what they're going to do.
And he wanted to wait and to see what they were going to do. And I didn't want to because I'm triggered. Because I'm thinking superiority. I'm thinking American. I'm thinking, who do they think they are? I'm thinking, this is my property. This is not their property. I'm thinking all kinds of stuff. I want to go over and cuss them out. Actually,
right. You're looking for a bat, you told me.
Yes, and I'm like, wow, but I went over there and I asked them, I said, I live here, and they was like, oh, okay, it still didn't matter, and they just looked at the house some more and walked around again.
Oh my God.
But by this time I'm expecting BK to say, hey, go, leave, go now.
Right. But this is important because this shows the different mentalities.
Right. Because I was triggered, but he wasn't triggered, but I'm triggered, what I mean? And so it's like that stayed with me for the rest of the day. Like, who the hell they think they are? Here I am all the way in Africa, and they're here, and they still think that they can run things. You know what I mean? Do things without asking. So So that was my big trigger. Yeah.
Right. So you were triggered, but BK, you're like, wait, calm down, right? Because in our American mind, we're like, you would get shot, and you can go to jail. for doing something like that. Especially if you
Right.
take it back 50, 60, 70 years ago, you're dead. Or you're just beat up really bad, you know?
Yeah.
And that's a Black person walking on land. And we're literally still dealing with that today. What's his
Right.
name? Amar Abu, I forgot his name, but the young man that was just jogging down the street ended up getting shot.
Amar
Avery.
Yeah. So, Vicki, your trigger is totally understandable. And at the same time, now that I know more, BK, now I understand why you respond the way you did. Because your upbringing, your knowledge is different.
Right.
And then I'm kind of in the middle of Africa and America because I've seen both. You know, I grew up over here. I know the system. I lived in America. I know a little bit about the American system. So, but it wasn't about Africa or America. It was about my personality. I want to wait to see what will happen. Are they here for trouble? Are they here for friendship? Are they here for anything?
Or are they being nosy?
Yeah. But so Vicki was like, go. I was like, wait. You know, but after the left, we talked and I understood where she was coming from. She understood what I was coming from. So yeah, maybe next time there's no gate for them to come through.
And listen, there's a comment. Africans only see their pretending white people in Africa. They're not aware of who some of those people really are. And Ahmad Aburi is his name. So what you two just said is crucial, and I think it's very important for the African diasporans and the continental Africans to have this understanding and to be open to talk about it. Because Vicki, you could easily been so mad that you're like, BK, you disrespected me and blah 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 blah. You right? It could have been a whole episode. And Vicki, for you to listen to BK, right? That was pretty strong of you.
Well, I'm not in America anymore, and so I don't know the African culture all the way. I'm learning, but I don't know it. So, I have to listen for now until I can.
Well, and another side to the story is also like the house was uncompleted. So an uncompleted house in Ghana, we call it site. When you have a site, people can somehow walk on your site. But when the house is completed and you're living there, nobody has the right to temper, like trespass on your land. So I saw it as an uncompleted house. But right now that we have a wall, we have gate and all that, they can't just open the gate and come through. They can get shot. So it was uncompleted.
Okay.
That's how I saw it.
That's how he saw it, but I'm still saying my land, that we paid for. So it doesn't matter if it's completed or not. You're still on trespassing.
Yeah, that's true.
Right. Thanks for sharing that, BK, because that didn't cross my mind. My mentality is like Vicky's. Like, no, you're on my property. Pah! But that's literally how we're that's how we're raised. Okay. Hello, Mali. There was recently a case in Kenya where a white man infected many girls with HIV. Africans have a white savior complex. That's a lie, that one. That's a big comment, but it is what it is. But there's white savior complexes everywhere in the continent. And for me, I was thinking it was mostly America that went through what we went through, but it's everybody, right? Yes. And everyone has had their own experiences. So me bringing my Western mentality to Ghana, I had to humble myself. Yeah. Right. Just like you said, BK, it's called sight. Like if it's not done, people can just come and look. That I would have never thought of that. So it's crucial for the ones that are watching. Right. If you plan on going to any African country, understand that we were raised differently and the mentality is different. And we have to really humble ourselves to receive this big move.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
You really have to humble yourself when you get here.
Right.
And not bring that street mentality from the US here. It's not gonna work.
It's not going to work. And I met another couple when I was in Ghana, and the husband had a pretty tough life. There's places in the States where I didn't know, like, you can just walk down the street and just get got, like I just didn't know it was that tough. And so when he comes to Ghana and there's certain services he experienced, or he gets like, I think he was like shooed, or the way they talked to him, he felt demeaned by it. And he went off. Like, and they're looking at him, because in Ghana, what I've learned, you can cuss them out, you can go crazy, and they'll just look at you, and you still won't get the service. Right? They're like, what is going on? Yeah. And so what, BK, do you think, because you, like, for example, we were taken from the States. So from the beginning, we know something is wrong. But Ghanaians, you guys didn't have to go anywhere. You guys kept your language, you kept your culture. And so do you think that is why there's still a reverence for non-Africans? Or why do you think the reverence is still there for Africans in Ghana?
Ooh, I have a personal understanding to your question.
Mm-hmm.
And I've told Vicki before, let me tell you, I don't know how you're going to take it. But before Christianity, Africans were worshiping God through his creation.
Mm-hmm.
What he, like the rivers, the sea, the trees, the mountains, and all that.
Right.
So the sea is one of the places that they go to worship. So what I believe was they were over there worshiping God or praying to God, and all of a sudden this is a big ship coming on the water. White people, they've not seen that color before. Just approach them. I'm sure the first instinct was like, this is God. They saw God.
Wow.
So the white man or the foreigner or the I don't know what to call them, thought, oh, let's take advantage of what these people think we are. So they took advantage. So that's how come the black man was like became a slave to the white man. Because from the very onset, they thought they have seen God.
Wow.
They've never seen that color before. They have never seen a ship on the water before. They have never seen that kind of person with that long, silky hair. So this is God, So they took advantage, and that's how come we were like, okay, do whatever you want with us.
Wow, I've never. Well, as you know,
allegedly.
Yeah,
allegedly.
Yeah, do whatever you want with us.
Wow, I've never heard that perspective.
That is what happened.
Yeah, that could be possible.
No, I mean, like, who am I to say no?
Because there's no way under the sun that a few people from another land will come and colonize us, take control over us, and do whatever they want with us. We only gave ourselves to them because we thought they were God.
And I've heard, well, that's the first time I heard that perspective. I also heard that we were sold, right? And that we were taken. So that adds a third perspective.
Yeah, the sale and the taking came after what we believed. Because if we didn't believe that, they had no power over us. We had the numbers, we had the power, we had everything. So what made them have that power over us? We had to give ourselves to them. And why did we give ourselves? Because we thought they were superior. We thought they were from, heaven. We thought they were God.
When they brought the Bible out.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a video.
Yeah, because the Bible is like second chapter to the whole story.
Yeah.
It's the second chapter, because when it comes to religion, that's how you control people, when you put them in systems. Right.
So many layers.
Yes, I mean, there's so many variables to this thing. We have some comments here. I don't necessarily agree with him that Shante fought many wars with the British. He's talking about pre-wars.
Yeah, I'm talking about before the
He's
wars.
talking about way
before the wars.
Or
Way before.
Before the
lovely
wars.
Africa. I
It was
read
after
about.
the wars that they went and came back with a religion.
And actually, after we're done with our mini interview, I'm going to get into more of the exact details of the wars and the secret meetings and how we got to where we are. Lovely Africa. Africa has the power, but they gave up. Mali, the Ga people took sides with the Dutch to fight the Ashanti Kingdom. And so there's just
The
I
guys
get it.
are the people from Accra. The guys are the people from Accra, and yeah, I believe that's what happened. But that was way before all these wars happened.
So, and like I said, this is a touchy subject. So I'm not. It might get ugly in these comments. I understand, but we have to talk about it, right? We have to talk about it.
We have to. It's a good dialogue.
And then I think you two is a perfect example for this live, because you guys kind of showed the power of unity when you just stop and listen to each other. I mean, we can end the live right now. That was my main message of this video, was that. So thank you.
You should ask the audience if they want to end it now.
I'm gonna end it right now. But lovely Africa, I truly believe the Most High is bringing us back together, Africans and African Americans. Yes, I mean
That is true.
Yes.
It's true. And I think this is just, of course, there's people way before me that have done what we're doing right now, but I want to call it the remix, because now we have live stream, now we have social media. We have all these avenues. Mali, the Europeans only arrived in Africa in the 1600s, where they traded. Was no worship of them. So I'm gonna get into that too. So obviously they want to get into the nitty gritty of it, but I definitely appreciate you two for being here, because that was my main message, and you delivered way better than I expected. Yeah. Yes, my name is.
Hey, thank you for having us.
Yes, thanks for having us. And anytime, we want to come together. We want to all just come together and learn from each other.
Right, because unity is the way we stay above, and stay positive. Because it's a new day. You hear me?
Yes, it is. It is.
So thank you so much, Vicki. Thank you so much, BK. I cannot wait to see you guys in June. If you're just logging in, these are my neighbors at the Beachfront property. Her house is basically done, and I can't wait, because please believe we're gonna do YouTube if she allows me. All righty, guys. Enjoy the rest of the live.
So we're gonna be watching from behind the scenes.
We'll keep watching.
Okay, perfect. Okay. And go ahead and put whatever in the comments, and let's talk about it.
Okay.
Right. We'll see you soon.
All right. Bye.
Bye. Okay, brown coat blue. You offer power to one group and tell them who their enemy is and why. Arm that group or both and sit back and watch. That's always been the strategy, and still is today. They use that strategy in all of Americas, in India and Asia, and are still using it in Africa. Oh, you guys like this topic today. The swoop in to clean up and reap all the resources. Lovely Africa, yes, a new day, and you and thank you both. I hope you can see my property one day. Lovely Africa, I plan on seeing everyone's property up in this piece. Once we all get over there, we're gonna have parties. And Vicki, they're building a restaurant in front of their property, so we're gonna be there, and I'm gonna have. It's gonna be good, guys. Just wait. So yes, we talked about that. That was the main reason right there, to show that we need to be open and listen to each other as African diasporans and continent Africans. Okay, so let's get into it, because a couple of you guys are just like, this is false, this is wrong. So I want to share this with you. There's a video. A map. Let's talk about it, guys. I want to talk about more of the actual process. Let me share my screen so we can get fully into this thing. Where is it? There we go. Can you guys see it? I want to make it bigger. There we go. As you can see, I want to make it even bigger, actually. We don't need to see my face, dude. Bear with. Let's find the best option. This goes over. There we go. Boom. There we go. Yay. So this goes over. Like up, please. Yes, like the video. If you're watching on YouTube, like, share, and we can get more people into this thing. Let me read the comments. Slavery was a business involving many tribes. It was about money on both sides. Leslie, you have to see my property. I'm thinking about coming in June. Yes. Hey, me too. Okay, let's talk about this map here, folks. Obviously, we know slavery started way before the 1600s, but this map talks about slavery from 1650 to 1860. And as you can see, my lineage is from Sierra Leone. I want to make it bigger. There we go. And so it's crazy because on my mom's side, Sierra Leone and here, as you can see, boom, a lot of people most of the Africans that was on the slave trips went to South Africa. Most of them was South Africa and the West Indies, folks. And if you look at the numbers, only 0.2 million and 0.5 million made it to the United States, but 4.5 million, 5 million landed in South Africa and in the West Indies. And folks, we don't even know what they went through in South America. We know more about North America because South America now. Oh, did I say South Africa? I'm sorry, I meant South America. Way more Africans landed in South America than even the States. So a fraction of our ancestors made it to the States. And if you look up, thank you for catching me on that, even less went to Europe, okay? So now we're talking about a fraction of people. So for the people that don't know, this is all of our stories. This is not, oh, this is the African-American history or this is the history of continent Africans. No, these are our ancestors. These are no different. We think time separates us. Time doesn't separate us, folks. Time has changed our culture, changed our mentality, but the core of who we are, the essence of who we are is the same. We're a one. I was talking to Jay Cameron and he said, they don't think the transatlantic enslavement trade is their history on the continent of Africa. And I was like, why is that? And BK kind of said it. They didn't learn about it. Because think about it, why would the oppressor tell who's oppressing how he's going to oppress, right? And so that's why there's a lot of non-African reverencing in Ghana when I was there, because they don't know the history of what we went through. And so when you take an African American and bring it to Ghana, and I'm looking at the favoritism, I'm triggered and I'm mad. Big population. And that map right there, what we're seeing right now, that is why. Because most of the Africans that were enslaved were dropped off in South America, right? So I wanted to show you that. And I also want to read to you the article that comes with this map because it's so good. Oh, you guys are hanging with me. Thank you. Let me read this article. The map of the week, unfortunately, not a true one, as we know, is a map of the enslavement trade from Africa, Americas from 1650 to 1860. This was during the time that the Atlantic slave trade route was the most successful trade route. So the enslavement trade started in the 1500s, but this time frame is the most quote unquote successful, which is not the term I want to use, but it is what it is. The triangular trade route was a route comprising enslaved African Americans who were shipped to Europe and the Americas. This map, however, hit the little button, guys. Yes, like. This map, however, only focuses on the trade between Africa and the Americas. It erases a lot of other important information so that it can highlight the importance between Africa and the Americas at this time, which is the reason why I use this map, because this video is about the relationship between Africa and African Americans, because that's what I am. I can't talk about anyone else. The same people for sure. 400 years is not that long. Yes. It erases, okay, purpose of this map, Europe is only given one arrow that points to the direction of Europe to remind the reader that there are still slaves being sent there. As we can see, the Americas, especially South America, were a dominant force in the slave trade because of its pictographic nature. This map is able to show the importance of the slave trade at this time, but more so the dehumanization of the people being traded at this time. The labeling of only a few coastal cities in America shows the dominance of the trade during this time. So let me talk about me and my family, because that's the only people I can talk about. I'm 100% Sierra Leone from the Mende tribe. As you can see here on the side, we're from Natchitoches. Natchitoches is part of Louisiana, New Orleans. What a coincidence how this arrow ends up directly. So the lineage is, I'm directly in line with what this map says. Slavery wouldn't have happened, wouldn't have been possible, intentions known to our people. I'm gonna talk about that too, Barth. There's a video I'm gonna show you guys about the Berlin conference that breaks that down. So this is a little bit of our history, folks. This is not our history. Our history doesn't start with slavery. We are the original creatures of the earth. How about that? The first human beings. Everyone descends from Africa. Everyone knows this, and if you deny it, this is because you just don't want to know the truth. Times Magazine did a whole article and showed how everyone dispersed from the continent, and over time create our own cultures, our own ethnicities. Hues and pigments changed. Okay, so that's what it is. We were emperors, kings, and queens slaying this place, right? At one point, we were running the world, okay? And one thing, I'll be interested to see what you guys think. I listen to a lot of Pan-African speakers, and a lot of people are saying, well, if African people are so great, why did they just let them? And there's so many variables, there's so many answers. BK gave us a solid answer too. But this one doctor said, think about it. If you were raised and you didn't have to murder and kill and steal to get what you needed, the earth provided for you, you were with nature, why would you need a militia or a military? I think we're going to get it back. Why would you need barbaric ways to rule and to manage people when everyone's already cohesive and in one with nature? Right? True. Mansa Musas was the richest man ever. Yeah, I mean, the BK is the same as Barth Bedini. Good vibes. Oh, you guys are okay. Got you. I wonder if you guys know each other in real life. That would be tight. So think about it. If you never had to murder or kill or steal to survive because you're in one with nature and one with your people, just like BK said, one with the water, one with tree. Why would you even think about building a militia to protect yourself? There was no reason to, right? And so when the Europeans came down, in their barbaric ways, because they had to still kill and murder and do all these things to survive, they just brought the culture down. And they said, ooh, these people have fruit and stuff. These people have resources that we don't have. With their barbaric mentality, they said, let's take it over. Okay. So for the people that don't know, this is what it looks like. And if you might be able to find yourself on this map, like I found myself in this map. That was funny when you said you wondered if we know each other. It's me, BK. I didn't know your first name was Barth. Who gave you that name? Africans also controlled Spain for centuries. I'm glad you brought that up, Molly, because what is the group called? Oh my gosh! I can't believe the term of the people that went up to Europe And that's how they didn't colonize. They expanded and educated, taught them what soap was, taught them math, taught them everything. Moors, there we go. Woo! That was going to be a shame if I could remember that. Moors, the Moors. So before Europe was Europe, Moors, people from Africa, migrated up. There we go. Yep, migrated up and taught them how to take care of themselves and educate themselves. Then the Europeans start coming down and getting educated in Africa because, you know, that's where the chemists, that's where math, that's where everything started. And then once they got smart enough, their barbaric ways didn't leave. And that's how we're in the situation we are now. So those that do not know history or this part of the story, this is why a lot of African Americans triggered when we go to the continent and we see stuff like this, because most of us know. Most of us know. Okay. Molly, you're educated. I can see that. Thank you for your contribution. So now I want to show you guys this video. Ooh, get ready, get ready, ready. If you do not know, you're about to know right now. Okay. Let me get to it. Is my screen being shared? The Berlin Conference. Can you guys see? Oh no, you can't see that. Let me share it. There was more pyramids in Sudan than Egypt. Let me stop sharing. I'm trying to bring up this video. I'm 2.3% Sierra Leonean. Hey cousin, how you doing? Okay guys, I'm getting there. Patience, patience. Here we go. Bam! This is a good video, folks. Ooh-wee. So, now that we kind of discussed the slave routes and enslavement routes, this is get to the division of the continent. Because from what I've learned, Africa was never divided into 54 countries. It was just the north, south, east, and west. Barbarism and pillaging and insatiable greed is clear. Sorry, my logo's in the way. Survival trait that comes from a place in the world with constant annual scarcity is just factual. It's just factual. So if you mad, you just mad at the truth. We can't do nothing about that. But this is a good video, guys. If you don't know, this is called the Berlin Conference. This is when they decided, as Europeans, without African leadership, to discuss how they're going to divide and pilgrimage and take resources from Africa. All right, here we go, folks.
1884, Berlin,
you guys hear it?
Germany. The leaders of 14 European countries and the United States met at a conference. The aim of the conference was for Western countries to avoid warring among themselves over Africa. The superpowers wanted to ensure maximum control over Africa's resources by establishing rules by which to divide the spoils, at the expense of the Africans who rightly own them.
No European nation state could be great without a colony that made European states compete with each other, vie with each other to accumulate colonies in order to migrate.
The Berlin Conference would lay down terms for an orderly carve-up of Africa.
So they sat around a table amicably without the presence of any African, it must be pointed out, and they consulted amongst themselves in order to decide on the rules for nation.
My gosh.
Across the
Literally, okay. So basically, they planned on how to take over without even including Africans. That's basically what she just said. Continue.
Continent, African peoples waged fierce wars in defense of their kingdoms against European encroachment.
So Molly, you elaborated on that earlier. You said that there was wars to keep us up, and you were right. So confirmation. I just want to point that out.
Diplomats, troops, and opportunists roam the continent, offering truces and illegal treaties to rulers of kingdoms whom they could intimidate or persuade to relinquish their control.
violence should be seen on a spectrum, on a continuum of plunder, pillage, and rape that all the European powers engaged in. But they're engaged in at varying degrees and at varying levels. And the most horrific exemplar of the violence of colonialism is Congo.
The huge basin of the Congo River.
Now, folks, if you don't know about Congo, Congo is where we get the material for our phones. Congo is where the what movie? Black Panther movie was. They use Congo as the background layout of the Black Panther, and the what mineral? The mineral in the movie they're talking about was really truly the mineral that we use on phones. I mean, it just makes so much sense. Okay, continuing on.
In Central Africa is extraordinarily endowed with vast resources. This land, 2.5 million square kilometers, crisscrossed by navigable waterways, was extraordinarily rich in natural resources, brimming with coveted commodities like ivory, palm oil, timber, and copper. This region was also blessed with huge quantities of a highly valuable substance, rubber. Advances in the vulcanization of rubber made it more durable and less brittle, facilitating the invention of the pneumatic tire. Soon, rubber would become one of the most sought-after resources on the planet.
Folks, let me interject. I'm sharing this to remind us that a lot of African Americans, a lot of us know the history and know the horrors. That's why we have triggers when we go back to the continent and we see certain things, favoritism of non-Africans, because a lot of stuff I see in the States, I know is built on the back of my ancestors, right? And so a lot of people, oh, Europe is so great. They like glorify Europe, they glorify colonized places, but no, it was built on the back of my ancestors, and we need to start telling the truth.
The ancient rubber vines that grew wild over the equatorial rainforests of Congo had long been exploited by the custodians of this land. But now, outsiders were intent on plundering them. Following the Berlin Conference, Congo Basin was recognized as the possession of its sole owner, the King of the Belt, Leopold II.
Ooh, that
renaming it the Congo Free State, Leopold now personally controlled a territory
worse than Hitler,
76 times the size of its home country. Since childhood, one of that engraved was a colony. And so he had one for himself. And he did it by convincing other European leaders that he was going to spread Christianity and bring in quote-unquote civilization to the people.
BK, you mentioned that. You mentioned second, now the religion comes in, which the Bible came in. Yikes.
Interests in the Congo were largely underpinned by enormous greed. And as a result of that greed, the Belgian Congo became the personal private property of the king of, and the discovery of rubber became a godsend to King Leopold II.
Leopold ordered the rubber to be collected as fast as possible. Soon, vast areas were stripped of every rubber vine. The mindless plundering of the land for its resources was repeated across Congo Free State. The profits going into the pockets of one man, Leopold II. The environmental damage was only a tiny part of the story. And it paled against the wider picture of corruption in humanity. In 1890, after the African American Congo, American journalist, lawyer, George Washington Williams wrote a letter to King Leopold. Published throughout the world, it highlighted just against the horrors there. Change method
because they needed the commodities in large farm. Pose a very brutal in the rubber.
Villagers were given strict targets for the amount of rubber they were forced to
collect.
punish
Brutal
and drastic.
This would be
The
Africans to provide limbs were people's hands and necks were wives with seed, for example.
All right. Where you get the video from? I'll post the video information in the description. Thanks for showing deposits: gold, copper, manganese, lots of mineral deposits in all aspects in huge quantities in any world. The Europeans knew exactly what Leopold was up to. Size. It was all of them. We know it.
Provide more and more rubber.
Leopold's private army of mercenaries comprised of Congolese soldiers commanded by Belgian officers, policed the operation. Anyone who resisted was shot. Because ammunition was so expensive, severed hand
The corpse had been
that a corpse
harvested
had been
for every bullet.
when soldiers had fired more.
That was a word I was looking for. Coltan. Coltan is the most important mineral in our cell phones. Lovely Africa, I'm glad you're doing this, sis. We have to tell the truth. I'm going to be doing this too. Yeah, for sure. We got to, I mean, education is where change starts. Just like the other day in the other live, we're talking about how do we change the colorism issue is by education. It is said that we need to read and study our history from a European's narrator. Knowledge is power that needs to be told. At the day, let's get the knowledge no matter what conduit is come through, because I understand that some people they don't like white people, and the second one speaks, people mad. At the end of the day, I don't care if a damn donkey has to talk to me and tell me the truth. I'm gonna listen to that donkey. I'm gonna take in the words, right? Okay, let's not get me started on that. Continuing on.
Than corpses.
They
They
severed
severed
the hand,
living,
women,
men, even children.
Visual evidence of the brutality was captured by the English missionary Alice C.
Missionary! Do you hear that?
Anti-slavery.
Missionary! Let me make my face big on this, honey. We just look at me. So that's why it's really to study the origins of your religion, because people are supposed to go back to Africa to bring religion and order and calm. But the people that went to Africa, they're the main people who had slaves and were doing all this stuff. Okay, so let's not, this whole missionary thing going to Africa to save souls, no, it was a cover up to do destruction and get resources. Okay, let's continue.
Every pamphlet
around the world.
Despite Leopold's claims that the punishments were part of Congolese culture,
It is still there.
or the limbs had been severed by wild animals, the photographic evidence was undeniable. Public outrage shamed the Belgian government into forcing Leopold to relinquish in 1908. It's estimated that 10 million people, half of Congo's population, perished during Leopold's inhumane rule.
Yes. Was that the end? There's one more aspect of it. Oh, I thought I read it.
1880.
So that's just one video, folks. There's a lot of stuff out there that you can educate yourself on. But once it gets out into the media, that's why I'm so excited about streaming, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, all that stuff. There's pros and cons to it. But in the video, the missionaries are all over Africa right now. It's the exact same thing. Yes, horrible. It's horrible what they did. But like I said, the main reason of this live is to educate us and to understand that we need to look as the African diaspora and as the continent African that we need to come together and understand each other so we don't cause hatred and calamity within ourselves, right? Some people have determined not to let peace prevail in Congo because they know that when there's peace in Congo, they will not get their stealing activities and stolen wealth. True. The Mormons are in Africa on a... Bruh, I have a story. That's going to be in my web series, Mormons Africa. Just wait for it. The irony is that Leopold is considered a hero in his country. He has his status all over the place. Yeah. Bart, a lot of people don't believe it, but the Christianity stuff was introduced after they found out that the African realized they were not gods. So they had to make Jesus into a white man and make him God. There's a book I recommend, The Need to Come Together Unconditionally. Yes, Kafor, that is the purpose of this live. We need to come together, period. And there's a book I recommend. It's called The African Origin. If you're really into religion and knowing the origins of it, there's a book by Dr. Yosef Ben. It's called The African Origins of Western Religions. So good, so good. Because Christianity, there's two types of Christianity. There's the European Christianity and there's the Ethiopian Christianity. Molly, you're on it. You're on it, Molly. I'm just about to talk about it. And that Bible existed 1,000 years before the European Bible. So 1495, before the slave trade started, right? Coincidentally, they came into Ethiopia, stole their Bible, remixed it, and now there's the King James Version. And then there's also the Ethiopian version. I strongly recommend everyone watch the recent 3-part documentary called Exterminate All the Brutes. Exterminate all the brutes, right? I'm gonna look into that. Yeah. It's all about education. The Congo basin is full of trillions of oil deposits. I mean, folks, the continent of Africa is where everything started. Because you know, the earth at one point, all the land used to be connected and then it divided over time, right? But the center of life is the continent of Africa, folks. Period. The center of life is the African woman, folks. Period. So the top 2 things that bring life, which is earth and women, right? Now we're considered at the bottom now because you have to put what's on top at the bottom if you wanted to control it, right? So let's put the Black woman down, the African woman down, and let's put Africa down so we can take over, right? And exploit the resources physically in every way. Oh my gosh, this is so good. I think we could talk about this for like probably a whole month, folks. But hopefully there's one more thing I want to talk about before we end this. Let me show you. I want to show you a little bit more of the African American history. Yeah, Molly is on. He's on it. This is his live stream, folks. This is Molly and BK's live stream. I'm just here with my face. I'm just here with the face. That's all I'm doing. So let me share this screen because I want you guys to get a little bit of the African history in recent years and why people like me and Vicki, we get triggered when we go to the homeland, we go to Ghana and we see certain things happening. I know you're laughing at me. Yeah, I'm literally just a face right now. You guys are on it. Okay, can you see this screen? It educates on the genocides committed around the world and what those people were saying about it all at those times. Yes. I want to make this big. And and I don't, at first, folks, I have to be honest. Anybody, any slaves, I don't want to show any of that. But at the end of the day, and so we can get rid of these white savior complexes because they're not saving about it. That's why I'm chosen to come home anyways. Period. Go ahead and put your feet on the African land. Okay, let me get to this. I want to make it big so you guys can see. I think this is the best screen for us at the moment. Okay. History. Black history milestones and timelines. In August of 1619, a journal entry recorded that 20 and odd Angolans kidnapped by the Portuguese, arrived in the British colony of Virginia and were then brought to the British colonists. So we have the slavery routes, we have the Civil War, we have the Underground Railroad, we have the Montgomery bus boycott, Selma to Montgomery March, Black Lives Matter movement. We have a history of things that were within the last 100 years, folks. So my Ghanaian brothers and sisters, when you see an African American walking on the beautiful land of Accra, and we don't like the favoritism that's being shown to non-Africans, we are triggered because we've been fighting for so long for equal rights, right? To go to the continent and see favoritism to non-Africans, we just don't understand. It's mind-blowing to us. And that's another reason why I wanted to share this live is be patient with us as well, right? As we're told being patient with you, be patient with us as well. Because it's funny because we both went through as African people unnecessary dehumanizing things. But it's just overt in Ghana and it's covert here. And a lot of us are starting to go to Africa because we're thinking we're getting away, but it's literally just a different system, folks. And so this website, I also put this website here because when you see, when it's underlined in red, you can click on it and then you can read about it yourself for over an hour. And I don't want to go too long, but like the Montgomery bus cut, the Civil War Road, my Ghanaian brothers and sisters, read up on it as well. So when you see us in these Accra streets, you understand where we're coming from. We will organize a big show at the conference center in Accra when you come. We need some education. Yes, yes. I'm telling you, I'm not here to play. I love my people. I love my culture. I love the origins of who we are. We're gods and goddesses. Like, no, I refuse to settle for anything less. I'm on a decolonized journey. I don't have a savior complex. All I want is some land to build. But if things like what BK just said arises, I'm down for the ride. Do you hear me? Ride or die. I'm here for it, guys. Yes. So in the YouTube description box, I'll put these links to these videos. You guys, this was an awesome stream. Thank you so much for participating. Any last minute questions, any last minute comments, please feel free to share. I think I read everyone's comments. Yes, I did. BK, that's an excellent idea. I'm down for it. And I think the power of the Ghanaian, we have to help each other. The Ghanaian, or just the continent African and the African diaspora, us coming together, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. Okay, I'm just talking at this point. I'm getting hyped because you, BK, with you saying that, oh, do you know how big that's going to be? Because the reason why my channel took off the way it did is because people want to know. People want to be educated, and people want to come back to the continent. And we just got to make it a simple transition, because after what African Americans have went through and we're still going through, it's going to be hard for them to transition to Ghana or any African continent without a system and without education. So, yay, I love my people too. Yes, don't just love, right? That's all I got, folks. That's all I got right now. And if you have any recommendations of what you want me to talk about, whatever you want to talk about in my next live streams, put it in the in the comments, and we'll just take it step by step, guys, and growing and getting better. So thank you, Vicki. United we are strong. Thank you, BK. You guys really just blessed this whole live stream. Thank you, Molly. Thank you, lovely Africa. Thank you. I'm gonna shout out everybody. Oh, I can't go down in the comments. Once they're gone, they're gone. Oh, thank you, Andy. Please, your next target for land purchases should focus on Eastern region, especially Aburi. See, I have a story about that. My second video, the second time I went to Ghana, it was Aburi, and it's a very, very hilly I think Bob Marley's family is in a berry. So I did look at that. I looked at like 4 properties, but my intention was to buy, sell, and flip quick. And there wasn't a lot of not nice, but local roads. So that's why I didn't choose Aburi. But Aburi is beautiful, it's gorgeous, and it is one of the up and coming cities that they talk about. So definitely, maybe I'll build my personal house in Aburi. Rita Marley is in the eastern region, yes. Maybe I'll build my personal house in Aburi. But when it comes business wise, I had to look at those type of things about building and selling quick to get my investors' money back. Right. So that's why I didn't choose Aburi, but I'm thinking about it for my own personal space. So yes, Andy, thank you for that recommendation. I can't go down in the comments to shout you guys out individually. That's a little, but, or maybe I can. Wait, because, you know, I'm a little sentimental like that. Can't help it. Get it from my daddy. Can I go down here? Let's see. Dan can't go down here anyway. Well, either way, you guys know I appreciate you being here. And yeah, guys, till next time, put in the comments what you want to hear next. And yes, we're almost at 4,000 watch hours. I don't know what else to say. Enjoy the rest of your day. Love you guys. Bye.